Meeting come to order. Worthington City Council regular meeting, 5:30 p.m. Monday, July 28, 2025, City Hall Council Chambers. If I could have everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, welcome everyone. We have no changes or additions to the agenda.
Move to close the agenda. Second.
Motion and seconded, close the agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. On to the consent agenda. We've got City Council minutes, special joint City Council and Water and Light Commission meeting minutes of July 16th, 2025. Regular City Council meeting minutes of July 14th, 2025. Special boards and commissions, special Water and Light Commission meeting minutes of July 16th, 2025. Also, we've got an application for exemption from lawful gambling permit, Worthington Area Chamber of Commerce, and bills payable.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. On to administration.
All right, the first item is Tammy Mack from the Madras Memorial Auditorium Performing Arts Center. Is going to give an update, give a recap of the last season's events and a preview of the upcoming 25-26 scheduled performances. Tammy?
Thank you. Thank you everyone for having me today. I was going to do another little video with a recap, but that became too many things, so I'll just tell you a little bit about our last season. A couple of the big events that happened. We did a Dia de los Muertos celebration last fall where we had commissioned an artist to create two almost 9 feet tall Catrinas, and they're just absolutely beautiful, and we used them as a centerpiece for the celebration. And since they've been on display at the auditorium, they moved to Minnesota West from there, and then from Minnesota West they now have moved to the History Center. So they're making the rounds around Worthington, and it's really fun to be able to share them with everyone. And then that same weekend, the Southwest Minnesota Arts Council held their annual meeting at the Memorial Auditorium, so we had a big celebration with that as well. Some other things are kind of unique about this year. Because of the construction at the library, the Arts Center was closed for renovations, and so we held the high school art show with over 400 pieces of art at the Memorial Auditorium, and we tied that in with the high school musical. So we had hundreds and hundreds of people that came in through our lobby to see the art, and it was really fun to listen to everyone talk about how they didn't realize we had so many talented artists with our students and so on. Following the high school art show, the Nobles County Art Center did their art show as well at the Memorial Auditorium. So it was really fun to bring in all of that art into our beautiful lobby and have people enjoy it. Another thing that we did, we had a premiere of a play by a Corinne writer who created a play, and it was put on with the Nobles County Integration Collaborative funding that they got through a grant. And we did a public performance and a school performance of that, and it was absolutely fantastic. If any of you know Tauntaun was one of the lead characters in the play, one of the lead actors, so it was really fun to have him be a part of that, and it was a fantastic play, and just fun to see a group of people who hadn't been in the auditorium before, a lot of them, come to see that performance. We did the Fly Dance Company. We had them come out of Austin, Texas, and they spent a week in our schools working with, I think they calculated around 1,200 students, and in all the different, we went to every single school building in Worthington, including Worthington Christian and St. Mary's. We did a little bit at the Center for Active Living and the 2 dance academies in town. And it was really fun to have this group and fun to watch the kids just in 1 hour, how much confidence they gained in themselves. And it was a really great affirming message that they brought. And then at the end of the week, we had an almost sold out show with the Fly Dance Company dancing hip hop dance to the Worthington Area Symphony Orchestra. And it was just so much fun to see something completely different. I had an audience member come to me after the show and he said, we had no idea what we were coming to see tonight, but we're so glad that we came, and we've really learned to trust that if it's happening here, we're going to enjoy ourselves. So we just took a leap of faith and came to this, and it was really fantastic. We also had over 200 students that were given free passes to come and see it, and a lot of their parents came to the concert as well, so really fun. And that was kind of the ending of our year this last year. The highlight of my summer so far, I got to be the MC for City Band on the 4th of July, so that was really fun to be a part of that. And I always just really enjoy the City Band, and I'm very proud that we have the wonderful municipal city band that we have here. And I also just want to mention, before I show you the coming season, that we have a show coming up in August that has ties to City Hall, actually. Denise Wither is one of the employees here, and she and another woman have a production company, a theatrical production company, and they're going to be putting on a community theater production at Memorial Auditorium. It's called Moonglow, and it's coming up August 15th and 16th at 7 p.m. And at the 17th, it'll be a matinee at 2. So I welcome you all to come and join in with that and be supportive of that community theater production. And with that, I'm going to show a little video of our upcoming season.
Report SS Edmund Fitzgerald, sinking in Lake Superior on 10 November 1975 with loss of life. The search results: 20 cork life preservers, 8 oars, 1 piece of a sounding board, there are no chalk markings on the sounding board, 8 flotation tanks, 1 large built-up wooden fender block with line, 2 propane cylinders, 1 with valve cover, 13 life rings, 1 piece of a life ring, 1 wooden stool, prow of the ship fighting harder to regain the surface. You've been on the lake 29 hours, and she is tired of playing with you. Behind you, the 3 sisters are building. The 3 sisters are part of the lake's mythology. 3 huge consecutive waves.
At 1639, the
Simone Perrin, Dan Chard, and the Brass Messengers. I remember a Christmas Eve morning, getting in the way back of a 1965 Impala station wagon. My mom and dad are up front, my sister is in the middle, and me in the way back, surrounded by pillows and blankets and wrapping paper and packages, and my brother, who's tolerable because he's asleep. We're on our way to Missouri, to my grandparents' farm, where my grandmother waits, worried sick until we arrive. And we're driving through Iowa past the white two-paid farmhouses, and every time we pass a fence that's over 10 feet tall, my dad says, "Hey, look at kids' nudist colony." And we stretch to see the errant nudist. And Dad, what do nudists do in the winter? What do you think? They bundle up, they're not crazy. Crafty nudists. And we drive along, and my mom starts singing, "What did I away, boys, what did I away?" And we sing that. She weighed a Washington, Mom, she weighed a Washington. My mom had a song for every state in the Union. I remember her song for Wisconsin went, "I love to live in Wisconsin and smell the dairy air." We drive down the city.
So I threw that perm box on the table. She grabbed a towel. We were doing it. So we did the perm, and let me tell you this, it took hours. It was a nightmare. I almost lost an eye. Chemical was everywhere. My scalp was burning. We lost a couple of chunks of hair, but I knew it would be worth it because I figured I am changing my identity. I'm going to be a new person. When I go to school, all the kids are going to stare as I walk in, slow motion. And they're going to be thinking, "Wow, who's that new cool kid? And how can I be friends with him?" just me getting high from the fumes from the purr.
You may have seen dueling pianos before, but you've never seen anything like us. Six o'clock on Friday evening, mama doesn't know she's leaving. Till she hears the scream of slam, the road squealing, gears of jamming. Logan comes to the station, blaring on the radio, they pick him up at 7. They're heading to the rodeo, mama's on the front porch screaming, I don't wanna go, you better get your red head back.
Are from a remote part of the Arkansas mountains. The New York Times wrote this, and I quote, "If Earl Scruggs, Dolly Parton, and Spinal Tap spawned a litter of puppies, it would be these guys." Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Cleverings at the Grand Ole Opry. Put the Gangnam down. Put the Gangnam down. For the Cleverly! The Cleverly!
So that's our season. Just to give you, I mean, you have descriptions there, but like the Gales of November is because it's the 50th anniversary of the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and this is a special play musical that's done from the viewpoint of 3 of the wives of the sailors that went down with the ship that day, and it's incredible that we have the opportunity to bring it to Memorial Auditorium. Also the December show with the storytelling. The Fulda Big Band will be the group that's performing on stage, so we're going to use our local musicians as a part of that show. And also I want to mention that the stand-up comedian piece, it's called Hilarity, Humor, and Hot Dish. We are going to have a hot dish buffet along with comedy that night. So we're going to try something fun just to warm people up in January. Lots of really fun things, and to kind of almost wrap things up with the Cleverleys, we just happened to get them because they were going to be somewhere else in Minnesota, and I called their management company and said, hey, we're just a couple hours away, do you want to come to Worthington? And they agreed. So that's the only way that we got a group like that, because they just happened to be in the state at the time. So I'm really excited about that show as well, and I hope to see all of you there.
Thanks, Tammy.
Thank you.
All right, next item is the third reading of the proposed ordinance to amend the city code, chapter 117, cannabis is this buffer. This is the ordinance that will place a buffer between dispensary for businesses, the minimum buffer, 1,000 feet. So tonight is the scheduled time for the third reading. A copy of the complete ordinance was in the June 23rd council agenda. Council action is requested to give a third reading and subsequently adopt the proposed ordinance.
Motion to approve third reading.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Yeah. Have we had any further community input? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we have a first and second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
All right, next item is paid family and medical leave premium split. The Minnesota legislature established a state-administered mandatory paid family and medical leave insurance program scheduled to begin January 1, 2026. The program provides job protection and partial wage replacement for up to a maximum of 20 weeks per calendar year, funded through a payroll tax applied to all employers. For each program type, broadly categorized as either family caregiving leave or medical leave, an employee can take up to 12 weeks of leave, up to a combined 20 weeks. Again, that's per calendar year. The following types of leave qualify: bonding after birth, adoption, or foster parenting, need associated with military members' active duty service, safety leave due to domestic abuse, sexual assault, or stalking, and serious health condition of the employee or family member. And a family member is many definitions: spouse or domestic partner, child, including biological, adopted, stepchild, child of domestic partner, or child to whom the employee stands in local parentis, legal guardian, or de facto custodian, parent or legal guardian of the employee, a sibling, a grandchild, a grandparent, or spouse's grandparent, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, or an individual who has a personal relationship with the applicant that creates an expectation and reliance on the employee care for that individual. The program is funded by employer and employee premiums through payroll withholdings. The program mandates the employer shall contribute a minimum of 50% of the total premium, but may contribute more than the minimum as directed by the City Council. The premium rate for 2026 is 0.88% of gross wages. Going forward, the premium rate will be adjusted in July of 2026 and then each July thereafter. Staff estimates gross wages paid to eligible employees here at the city in 2026 will be $10.3 million, resulting in paid premiums of approximately $90,640. The law does not preclude employees from bargaining with unions with respect to premium split between the employer and employee. According to information received from the League of Minnesota Cities, many labor experts state there is a negotiation obligation to establish a 50-50 employer-employee premium split for represented employees. Council action is requested to direct staff regarding the employer-employee premium split contingent upon union negotiations. And myself and Lori Henning are available to answer if you happen to have any questions regarding this.
I just have one.
Yeah, Amy.
The 90,640, that's the full amount, not the city share.
Correct, that would
Okay.
be the full amount.
Okay.
There are so many questions that could be asked and not answered on this. Am I correct?
We've had many questions as staff and not getting any answers. There's a lot of confusion and unknown. We know it's going into effect on January 1st. We'll start withholding premiums on effective January 1st. Employees would receive payment from the state if they qualify, if they're eligible. There's a very complex payment formula based on wage history. And now we just spoke a short time ago, if they're out on sick leave, is that right, Lori? If they're out on sick leave, we would have to cover the employer's share of FICA and Medicare withholding, which we don't even know if our software will, how it's gonna handle it. And is it gonna be all manual calculations and manual entries into our payroll?
If they're on sick leave of their own sick leave or sick leave at all?
State paid. The state would notify us what we have to pay on the wages that they're paying them.
What about, disability, short-term disability?
That's also an unknown question, because some of our employees have short-term disability insurance or policies, and we had this discussion 2 weeks ago, of which we have no answers. We don't know how the insurance companies that are covering someone for short-term disability, what their plan is. Would their paid leave wages be augmented through the disability? Would the disability take precedence before paid leave would get paid? Or if they're on paid leave, the insurance companies would not have to pay any short-term disability? These are all questions that we have that no answers have been forthcoming.
What we're looking for tonight is our recommendation of what percentage we're gonna pay.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we pay 50%. I would second that.
Okay, but you mean,
This has to be negotiated with the unions,
We don't really know what union's standing is. It's written in our contracts. We couldn't address it during our last contract negotiation because we didn't have an idea where this would go. We have a clause in there that says we will meet and confer. So that's where we'll be at. You will, with your motion and second, if council approves that, we will proceed with working with our unions. The council has directed that it will be a 50-50 split. Another complexity is anything the city pays over 50% would count as income to the employee.
How can you charge income twice?
Yeah.
It's a taxable benefit, just like HSA contributions are a taxable benefit.
But if you earn the money
Yep.
and had it taken out, that's not taxable.
Pre-tax. Our portion that we're paying for it would be a taxable benefit, above the 50%. Above the 50%.
Yeah.
okay, any other questions?
Would this be something that would be revisited annually then?
As far as the premium split?
Yeah.
It would not be brought forward by staff. I'm pretty sure of that, but.
Wouldn't it be more up to the labor negotiations?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how that ends up, but if you are directing a 50-50 split, that's gonna be in place until council would decide to change it.
We would maybe have to revisit it if it goes up considerably from 0.88% to.
Yeah, I mean, that would, and it's already, the amount that they've established currently has increased from what they had originally estimated. So it's already gone up before it's gone into effect.
So this is an increase in medical benefits to the employee.
Yes.
So,
Now, we have the option of having private insurance to cover this, which we are working with our broker to get estimates on policies for that. One thing that we caution about that, if we're working with an insurance broker, what responsibility then falls on us as the employer to make sure everything is being followed through correctly. Whereas if they go directly through the state, they make a mistake, that's their problem, would not be our problem. So we don't know. We haven't seen what insurance companies are even offering this. And there is talk that at some point in Minnesota, short-term disability insurance may just disappear. Won't be offered anymore if this is taking its place.
Yes, Amy.
So really, we don't really know what our liability is. I mean, we know the premium liability would be for the full amount. So the city's responsibility would be half of the 90,000 plus the taxes due if somebody accesses the leave.
Right. And we don't know where if they're not working, if they're off, do they still accrue benefits? Benefit time, vacation time, things like that.
You don't know that.
We don't know that.
Well, that's our policy change. I believe that's in our right to change our policies.
And how does this fit in with employee sick and safe time, ESST?
Not
Totally
at all.
different,
Okay.
completely different program.
Okay, any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. No further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion.
Thank you. Last item is an amendment to the city's investment policy. Staff invest public funds in a manner that provides for the highest investment return with the maximum security while meeting the daily cash flow requirement. City's current investment policy was adopted by the council last year on June 24, 2024. Current investment policy replaced the previous policy that was adopted in August of 1986 and subsequently amended in twice in 1989 and once in December 2012. The proposed amended policy, which was included as Exhibit 2, policy as presented conforms to all state statutes and investment funds. So what we're doing with this amendment is deleting Section 8, safekeeping and custody, which deletes the delivery versus payment, third-party custodian, which we do not use. We do not have a third-party custodian that sends in or receives our investment funds. We do that. That all comes through us directly. So to clean this up, we're taking out that section that referenced delivery versus payment for the third-party custodian.
Would there be a reason why you'd ever want to add that back in again?
No, so what, the way that section was written is that that is how we were doing it, but we're not. And I was in discussions with our Wells Fargo investment people, and they said if that's in there, since we're not working in that manner, they're out of compliance with following our own procedures, so, or our own policy.
Okay.
So we are removing that, and I can't imagine the time that we would want a third party that essentially all of our investment money went to them and then they held it rather than us holding it ourselves.
Motion to approve the amendment to the city's investment policy.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My first case item is a Centennial Park Ball Field Restroom Professional Services Proposal. Independent School District 518 at their last school board meeting has approved a plan to build a new softball complex on the old West Elementary site. This softball complex will include a new high school softball field, bleachers, dugouts, announcing stand, and batting cages. In collaboration with this new complex, the City of Worthington has agreed to build a new building consisted of restrooms, concession area, and storage in this building. This building, which will sit on city property near the new field, will be part of a newly improved and redone recreational area. Some of the future improvements we're looking at include updated parking areas, new lighting, and improvements to the city-owned fields. Public Works staff has requested a proposal from Brian Bergstrom, Short Elliott Hendrickson Incorporated, for design and construction services for this new restroom to be located at this complex. The proposal, Exhibit 1, is included in your packet. Mr. Bergstrom's proposal for these design and construction services calls for a lump sum fee of $28,500 plus some reimbursable expenses. Staff has had very positive experiences working with Mr. Bergstrom in previous city projects and is supportive of his proposal. Council action is requested to approve the proposal of Short Elliott Hendrickson Incorporated. Steve, I think, put up a proposed site plan that was provided by the school. In the center there, you can see what will be our restroom area. One thing I will mention is that those of you who were on council last year during budget sessions know that I had money put away for a new restroom by the ball fields last year. Knowing that this may be a possibility, we held off on that. And we think this is a much better location. It's closer to the pickleball courts, be closer to the new softball complex. It will be a more expensive project, and you'll see that when we do our budgets coming up for our 2026 budget. So it'll use the reserve funds plus some new funds that we'll have for this restroom.
Mike, you have a question?
Will this building kind of follow the same design as our other buildings we've done?
Yep. It will look like the rest of the bathroom buildings, like the Beach Nook and the Slater bathroom. We'll have the same concept. And I believe the school district was talking about using that same concept on their dugouts and stuff, so it all kind of ties together.
So the full project, this is the one block of tower between Clary and 11th Street. Our plan is to vacate it, and rather than a through street, we would build 2 in and out parking areas. Tower was scheduled to be reconstructed, the 2 blocks between 10th Street and Clary, so we've kind of held off on a number of these things, kind of waiting to be able to collaborate with the school district. Near term, in addition to this, our plan is that this would be constructed in 2026, along with the school district building their softball field. And you can see the grade softball field is a future field that may be built sometime in the future by the school district. In addition, through our engineering department, we have 2 separate roadway projects. These will be bid as 3 separate projects. This roadway project, the roadway project for the block right below, and then a third roadway project that would go from the 10th Avenue Bridge over to, is it going all the way to Tower, or is it all the way to Tower? Tower. So our plan is that we're going to bid these as 3 separate projects and then get pricing. But if you drive that area, you know that those streets are in dire need of reconstruction.
Yeah.
What's the patch just east of where the new restrooms would be?
This?
Yeah.
Bleachers?
Yeah, they're still working on a bleacher concept and that would be the school district's responsibility on that. We blocked off a spot to put our restroom concessions building, and after a lot of thought and discussion, we want it on city property, which would be the road right of way, so we'll stay, our building will be on city property rather than back on.
And kind of equipment as well in that same building?
There'll be some storage area, but we have other plans for this whole complex out there. We've had calls for more pickleball courts. One idea is to take the, do we call this a skating rink or a soccer rink?
It's the skating rink.
It's a rink.
Yeah. And
convert that into pickleball courts, rebuild this down by the skateboard park. And where the old restroom is, we would build a storage garage that we could keep. We have a lot of equipment that goes along with these ball fields and have a nice storage. And then rebuild the gravel parking lot between them. That's what we like, what we'll be bringing to council.
You wouldn't leave a skating rink there?
What was that?
You wouldn't leave the skating rink somewhere in that area?
Yeah, we put it by the skate park.
By the skate.
Oh,
And
gotcha,
that, one of the reasons we put it there is we have access at the water tower to a fire hydrant to flood it. And if we build this garage for storage, I would have it heated and we could have water in there with a 2-inch line to do the finish flooding of the rink in the wintertime. It just make it, right now we haul water down there and makes it a kind of a problem. One of the things I would like to see in the 2026 portion of this project is new lighting for the pickleball courts, new lighting for the basketball court, and new lighting where that skate park is now. And I think that could be funded out of our street light fund. I know there's some excess funds in there and we have used it for trail lighting, we've used it for other things. Right now the lighting on those areas is really old and some of it doesn't work and can't even be upgraded. So I think that we can find ways to do that within our project this year. That'd be a big upgrade. But then we've got a lot of plans for this area. I'd like to see our fields updated so we had a really new, or you have a new high school field and a really new varsity field, but I think our B and C squad fields could be upgraded and we could have a really, really nice softball complex here.
And I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Porter.
Well, for the 28.5, does that include just the concession stand and the storage shed, or does that include the parking lots?
It includes the parking lot. What we intend to do in 2026, concession stand and the 2 parking areas.
Yeah, the $28,000 is just for the restroom though.
Yeah, which we're in-house, we're designing all of the civil work.
Yeah. This is the restroom facility and services and all that.
Which we had money that had been put away for the last several years to replace the restroom that's over by the skate park, which is kind of a remote area, so we wanted to move it over here where it would have.
So the parking lots, our own engineers can design that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just didn't know if there was gonna be another bill for that.
No, they're, I think they're actually getting a little start on that, aren't you, Gil?
So, the new field will be like high school softball size, regulation.
Yep.
Will it also accommodate youth baseball?
Yes, you can use them for youth baseball, same size fields.
The field dimensions for the girls softball and youth baseball are the same, so that they can serve dual purpose. So they could have, the younger youth baseball tournaments and have multiple fields.
What's the intentions of that extra field? I mean, the school hasn't decided when they're gonna build that second field, or is that gonna be all grass so they can use it for soccer?
That is really under discussion with the school board. There's not a consensus among the school board on the main field whether it would be grass or turf. They are planning to bid it both ways, so when they see the numbers, they can make a decision.
And it'll be just grass where the second field is now until they decide to do something with that.
Is it gonna be big enough to have like for youth soccer, I mean temporarily until that is decided?
Yeah, that'd be a question that.
It would be big enough to have a neighborhood soccer field.
Mike, did you have something?
Well, I'd just like to, this is a perfect partnership with the school district. They have the option of maybe moving out west by all the new buildings. But putting it here really is great for our community because we've got everything right there all the way back to Centennial Beach, as far as recreation. So I wholeheartedly thank the school district on this one for choosing this site.
The other fields that are there, they're softball and youth baseball.
Yeah.
Or have it already, yeah.
Those fields, the plan for those fields is that they will continue to be used as softball fields?
Our fields?
Centennial 1
Yes,
and 2?
yes. And I'd like to see those at some point upgraded, you know, as far as like the dugouts and some of that stuff like that. But once we get this built, you know, those are all things we can talk about. But yeah, they'll continue to be used for youth baseball and softball. And right now, on the south field, they play the varsity games, and on the north field, they play the junior varsity games if they have them. It'll just move that the varsity games will be on this new field, and the junior varsity games will be over. If they have junior varsity, it'll be over on our south field, which is the better of the two fields. So,
Well, we'd like to see, this is a 2026 project. 2027 would be the next phase where we do some upgrades with our existing fields, maybe add a pickleball court and a parking lot between the fields, and that would be a second phase. And at the end of this, we would have a really nice complex that we would be very proud of.
Motion?
Throughout this whole planning process, whether through school district or even our side of it, regarding the parking and the new restroom there, and the closure of the street, has any homework been done as far as inquiring or having an open hearing about and contacting the neighbors, what the traffic change would be in regard to closing off that street, and which would ultimately increase traffic along Turner, probably all the way to 10th. But
one thing about it, we did look at that. I looked at that a little bit and thought about it, but it's not right now. There's no houses that are on that street whatsoever, and all the houses that are on the south side of Tower, their driveways, most of those go out, and they're closer to 10th, which is, I think, probably the way they go most of the time anyway. And I think there's only 2 houses there with 1 driveway, and everybody else will.
You're
it's
talking
just,
on Tower?
Yeah, and on the 11th Street portion of it, when they come out there, it's closer to go to Turner and up, as if you're going towards town or anything. I guess nobody's really had any hearings, or we've just thought about it or looked at it, but it's not a high traffic area, as far as, at least I don't think. Now, there was some discussions about closing Turner and all that too, and through the school district, and I said I wouldn't agree to that because we have to have some way to get in and out of there. But I don't think it'll be a big hardship. But no hearings have been done.
We use it a lot. If we're coming off of Oxford, sneak back on whatever that first one is by the old liquor store, and then down Tower. But we'll just pop up to Park instead and just flip around till I get to where.
well, yeah, if you've had both sides of Whiskey Ditch, you could scoot. Depends which side you were on.
Yeah,
That
we
you
just
could-
scoot on the other side instead. It'll just be a change of habit more than an inconvenience.
Well, and then I was thinking about the increased traffic along the stretch of Turner, which, yes, has more residential than the Tower side. But
Few more parking spots when they have events at Centennial anyways, you know, versus along the road.
I like the fact that we're closing the road because so many kids run across there.
Yep.
It's just a huge safety thing, and it'll be so much safer for all those little kids that run across there.
Especially when they have T-ball games and people park on both sides of the road. You get kids going back and forth. It's yeah.
Or softball games, that's the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah, same thing.
You don't know if the high school is planning on keeping the playground equipment there, or would they move that?
No,
Technically, they can't move the playground because it is not in doesn't meet current standards. So
they'd have to remove it.
So that could be part of the long-term plan, to put a
Put
playground in
another
there.
Yeah,
playground.
a play area somewhere there.
Yeah.
We do have a really nice one just, in Centennial, but, yeah, most of that playground equipment doesn't pass code, so they can't really take it out. They can't take it out and reinstall it, I know. I mean, it's still, as long as it's there, they're okay, but, there's some code issues with that right now.
I'll make a motion to approve the Centennial Park restroom professional service proposal.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
My next one is a Minnesota Department of Transportation grant agreement. Council at their February 10th, 2025 meeting approved a bid with Everstrong Construction to build a new 150 by 50 three-bay hangar at the Worthington Municipal Airport. This bid was accepted contingent on receiving FAA grants to provide any eligible funding. The Worthington Municipal Airport has since been awarded 2 FAA grants towards this hangar project, and I will just say they're already signed and all the T's are dotted, or I's are dotted and T's are crossed, and we weren't doing anything until that was the case. As a standard procedure, MnDOT has authorized a companion grant, Exhibit 2 in your packet, to fund a portion of the associated cost of this airport improvement. The cost breakdown is the FAA eligible project cost $585,000. State DOT cost is $44,226.94, and the city cost is $27,751.63. The total project cost for this FAA grant and portion of this building is $656,978.57. Council action is requested to accept the MnDOT grant and pass the accompanying resolution. This is not the total cost for the whole hangar. This is just the accompanying grant for one of our federal grants. You'll see the other one, I was hoping we'd have it by this meeting, but you'll see another grant come through for the rest of the project.
Is it one motion or two?
Was that?
One motion to accept the grant and then pass the.
Yeah, just one motion is fine, isn't
One
it?
motion?
Yeah, we just have to accept the grant and then pass the resolution is the big one.
I'll make a motion to accept the MnDOT grant and pass the resolution.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
And my last one is a task order number 32 from Bolton and Mink. Worthington Municipal Airport is an MPCA industrial stormwater permit holder. One of the requirements of this permit is that we have an updated stormwater pollution prevention plan, or our SWIP. And our current SWIP was developed in 2012, and there have been numerous changes at the airport since that time. Airport staff has reached out to Bolton and Mink, our airport consultants, for a proposal, Exhibit 3, to update our current SWIP document. Airport staff was just recently notified by the Minnesota DOT that we would be receiving a grant to fund approximately 70% of this update. The scope of services for this proposal is to review our current SWIP, update any needed changes to adhere to the permit regulations, and provide any needed copies. The proposed fee for these services should not exceed $7,100. Council action is requested to approve Bolton and Mink task order number 32. And I didn't put in what the state grant portion will be because sometimes it's like 68% or whatever. But it'll be approximately 70%. So only 70% of the $7,100, or only 30% of the $7,100 will be our responsibility.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yep.
Yes, Chris.
Is this something that, is the SWIP something that we can incorporate on a regular basis with our city SWIP? Because we have to review that. Is that yearly?
Yeah.
Do?
Well, yes, we do have a city one, but this is actually for our industrial stormwater permit. It's just for the airport itself. So that's a different permit and a different portion than what the city one is.
That's basically what I was asking.
Yep. No,
If we could incorporate it into the larger one at the same time, or if we have to keep it separate.
Most industrial stormwater permit holders just change it minorly. We've had some bigger changes at the airport with taxiway extensions and some stuff like that. So we're updating ours. It's easier than, and once again, it's been 15 years almost since we've updated it. So we put in for a state grant, we got it, and so we think it's a good thing to get it updated.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Okay, on to engineering.
Good evening. My first item is just an update on East 9th Avenue project. The East 9th Avenue project was awarded on March 24, 2025 with the original scope including the installation of a new water main and sanitary sewer main followed by street paving within the same year. Although the curb and gutter replacement was not part of the initial plan, it became necessary to remove them due to the width of the trench required for utility installation. The project was budgeted at $293,810.50, and the low bid came in at $156,175.50, significantly lower than the budget. Given the extent of the excavation and the need to ensure long-term road quality, it was determined that installing temporary curb and gutter and temporary pavement for the winter, followed by permanent curb and gutter and final paving in the spring would be best course of action. This approach allows for a full freeze-thaw cycle, which promotes proper subgrade consolidation, enhances ride quality, and extends the overall lifespan of the roadway. The additional cost for completing the project this way is approximately $45,000, bringing the total well within the original budgeted amount.
Yes, Amy.
Does this increase the assessment for the homeowners?
Nope, just like we talked way before, we had the cap, and that cap will not increase anymore anyways.
This didn't include any sidewalks because of the
Correct.
width of the road.
Yep.
Okay.
There's no motion needed, just update. So.
Thank you.
My second item is budget amendment for an additional vehicle. The engineering department currently has 4 full-time staff members and operates with 2 vehicles. Due to the limited number of vehicles, staff have been using their personal vehicles to travel to construction sites. The equipment revolving schedule, ERS, includes $45,000 for an additional vehicle scheduled for purchase in 2035. Staff is requesting a budget amendment to move this allocation forward from 2035 to 2025 to enable the purchase of a 3rd vehicle this year. And I believe I tried to put this new vehicle in 2025 instead of 2035, but I think there was a little bit of mistake and writing issue.
And that's purchase and not lease, right?
Correct.
The $45,000 is already there.
No, we only put $5,000 or $6,000 for this year, divided that $45,000 into 10 years to meet the 35-year goal, but supposedly put it at $45,000 in this year. But we only have about $6,000 for this 3rd vehicle in our bank account.
And you looking for a 1/2 ton or 1 ton or 3/4 ton?
We don't need the full size. We'll probably look for something smaller size truck, and we'll modify however we need to, like putting a little bit of storage unit behind or something like that, and a construction light on top of it. And we're hoping to get it well under 45,000, but we're just aiming for the high end of the all vehicle price and the installation cost.
Well, you don't sell yourself short anyways, you know, if there's something that, if you need a workhorse or something like that, versus a 1/2 ton, you might say.
So I'm just a bit confused, there's 45 in there now?
No, there is not. There's only
How are you gonna get
6,000.
to the 45?
I looked at the budget, and we have half-time employee who was budgeted for entire year. There is about $25,000 left over since he'll be done in a couple weeks here. Also, we do have about $40,000 saved up for our every 3-year aerial photo budget, and it was well over budgeted for some reason long time ago, and it only cost about $5,000 to $7,000 every 3 years, and we have about $40,000 saved up there. So we'll move funds around from half-time employee leftover and that aerial photo budget.
What do you anticipate a cost for a vehicle? An idea?
We don't know yet. We haven't really picked out exact vehicle, but we'll aim for something really basic and smaller truck size. So we'll try to stay under $45,000.
When staff uses their personal vehicle to go to a site, do they put in for mileage? Do they put in for gas?
We have not. Nope.
You should. Is that a liability?
I was just thinking the same thing, yeah, as far as if they have an accident.
I've notified her or my staff that she can absolutely do that. She has the right to do that, but in a good faith, she hasn't been.
Okay.
And I haven't been either, just the same.
Motion to approve this amendment for additional vehicles.
Second. Yeah, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Community development.
Thank you, Mayor. First up is award a contract for our zoning ordinance update. As an implementation action of the 2045 comprehensive plan, a complete update of the city's zoning and land use ordinances has been identified as a need and has been planned for quite some time, even before we adopted that new comp plan. Review, updates, consolidation, additions to City Code Chapters 99, 151, 153, 154, and 155 were planned as the initial scope of the project. The city released a request for proposals and 5 qualified firms submitted proposals. After review and interview, city staff has elected to move forward with MSA Professional Services. The proposal from MSA can be seen in Exhibit 1A, and the contract, along with an optional addendum to include City Code Chapter 152 floodplain management in the project, can be seen in Exhibit 1B. This chapter, that floodplain management chapter, we initially left out due to the complexity, but we do feel it would be beneficial to review and update that at this time alongside this project. The fee, including the addendum, is $122,200. A significant amount of this has already been budgeted, and the remainder will be requested in the 2026 budget. Specifically, we have $78,000 that's come out of the last 2 years as carryover, and then we'll request the additional amount in the 26 budget. Council action is requested to approve the contract and amendment to the contract in Exhibit 2A.
Council, any questions? It's just kind of formality, I believe, right? For the most part.
Well, we had been planning to rewrite this part of the ordinance for the last several years. We were waiting to complete the comprehensive plans, so the zoning ordinance would follow the comprehensive plan. Matt had prepared the RFP. Like he said, we had ended up with 5 proposals. Matt and Drew and I interviewed 2 of the firms, and we're unanimous in our decision that MSA offered us the best ideas and solution moving forward. This is about a 1-year project that we're anticipating. So we have a lot of the funds already budgeted that for 2025, and then we'll improve what we need to finish it up in the 2026 budget.
Move to approve the contract and the amendment.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion's carried.
All right, second item, this is just for council's information here. The city of Worthington has been awarded an active transportation planning assistance grant from MnDOT. This grant program provides planning assistance for cities by contracting with and paying for consultants to work with the city. The scope of this project is a trail plan / update to the city's 2015 active living plan, with some additional focus to coordinating some future trails with Nobles County and connections into Worthington, specifically looking primarily at county corridors within the city especially. Other provisions will include pedestrian infrastructure plans, goals, and other identified needs. There are many benefits to this type of planning process, ranging from simply identifying future trail and pedestrian infrastructure needs to the increased opportunity for infrastructure grants based on plans. More information will be presented as the project progresses. We have kind of started this now. This is calling it a grant's a little odd because it's really MnDOT just paying for a consultant that they choose to come work with us. And this grant was actually written by staff at the Statewide Health Initiative Partnership, so thanks to Luke and Han, who doesn't work for Nobles County anymore, but they both wrote this grant application on behalf of the city with some input from us. Biggest benefit here is kind of getting a follow-up update to our 2015 Active Living Plan and the grant opportunities that it brings with that. The staff that we started working with on this have stated very clearly that your likelihood with MnDOT grants following this project is very great. They love to give out infrastructure grants after you go through a planning process like this, so that's kind of just some of the background of why we got into this, but you'll see more information coming. Just wanted to notify council that we've been awarded that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your work. Okay, on to committee reports. I went to the GOP governor forum anyways, just kind of got an insight. They had 4 candidates actually in Worthington. The only one that was missing was, it was Scott Jensen. He was kind of a last minute and had prior engagements, but candidates I believe were Brad Kohler, Philip Parrish, Jeff Johnson. I think the other one was there before. It was interesting anyways. Yeah, the Republicans anyways. So a couple hours, and there was about 80 people that attended that anyways. So it was interesting. Amy?
I attended Capital Conversations, is that what it's called? Is that the right name for it? This morning with Chris and Steve. Yeah.
Nothing to report. Okay. Amy? Okay. Mike? Okay. Chris?
Yes, attended the Capital Conversations that's sponsored by the Forward Worthington, I believe, yeah. And then also attended the Coalition of Greater Minnesota Cities Conference in Bemidji this last week. Got some updates on what's happening at the state, what's potentially going to happen at the state, and how it affects us. Of course, we talk about LGA and where that is, and a lot of stuff up in the air as far as even things we talked about earlier regarding employee and stuff. So, yeah, that's what I have.
Just advance notice, the Coalition Greater Minnesota Cities will be hosting a regional meeting in Wyndham on, is it August 30, Thursday, August 14th. I have 5 o'clock, 5 to 6:30.
That's what I have.
So, advance notice if you want to get registered for that.
5 to 6:30. Okay, that's it. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign.